Alrighty, hello again. So I would like to talk about evasion. So to me, what I've noticed in my life is that everyone, okay, not everyone, but most people, a majority of people are always trying to evade. They're always trying to dodge things. They're trying to get around things, and there's this whole concept of evasion. They're always trying to evade something. Like whenever they hear, oh, I've got to go do this thing, they're always like, their first instinct is, okay, how can I evade that? How can I avoid the situation? And that situation might be something that they know needs to be done, whether it be, I don't know, taxes, or, oh, there's a dead raccoon. Okay. So it could be taxes, it could be cleaning your house, it could be repairing a relationship with somebody, it could be going to the gym, it could be so many different things. The point is, I think that you should all, and people who are doing this, whoever it might be, I think you got to stop evading things and start to take things head on a little bit. So whatever that means for you, whether that be, for example, going to the gym, stop evading that. Stop finding an excuse for that and just go. Face that head on and just knock it out. I think it's a dangerous thing when you start evading and you start avoiding and you start making excuses and you start just completely neglecting important things in your life. So that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, was just stop evading. Start to take on your problems head on and start to take your fears head on. So that was the first thing, is quit doing that shit because it's not taking you anywhere. The second thing was, you've got to start to be willing to sacrifice. I think that's an important thing. The book I'm reading, Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone, talks about how, well, you don't really have to sacrifice. You can just have it all, right? So you can have success, you can have money, you can have relationship, happiness, joy, you can be giving, you can be selfless. I mean, he just kind of says that he wants to have every aspect of life. He wants to have everything. And we all do. I mean, we all can resonate with that, because of course we all do. But I think that to get to that point, you've got to be willing to sacrifice. Maybe eventually you can get to that point, but you're not just going to instantly have that. You're not just going to wake up one day and be like, oh, I've got it all now. I kind of think, I see what he's saying, but the way I think is, I feel like you have to sacrifice now to get what you want later. And so, for example, I know Gary Vaynerchuk talks about how in all of his 20s, he didn't have one Saturday off. So he would work, I guess, 6 days a week. I don't know if he had Sundays, but the point is, he was taking off less time than the average person by a long shot, right? So he was sacrificing his weekend for his success. So he would take off, he wouldn't take Saturdays off, and in turn, now look at him. Not to say that Saturdays was the only reason that got him where he is now, but it's a factor. It played a role. Certainly, it obviously did, and it's kind of that mentality that I think a lot of us lack, and I think a lot of us need to acquire, is becoming willing to sacrifice for things that are important. It's whether that be not taking off Saturdays, whether that be staying up a little bit later and sacrificing your sleep. I think I talked about that recently, a little bit more. Well, that was my blog, actually, I think. But, well, you know what I'm saying. Sacrifice things that will, so like when you're eating a donut, if you sacrifice that short term, it's very, very short term. Eating a donut is amazing. It's so amazing for like 7 seconds, and then as soon as that last bite is down the hatch and in your belly, you're like, shit, shouldn't have done that one. Whoops. But so what I'm saying is, sacrifice that 7 seconds of pleasure for a life of gratitude down the road. Oh wow. So, and I think Will Smith talks about that as well. He mentions that if you're able to just you got to be willing to give up short-term pleasure. I think he said something kind of like this: be willing to give up short-term pleasure for long-term success, or something along those lines. And that kind of resonates with me big time, because I think that's very true. I mean, a lot of us aren't willing to do that. A lot of us cave in. We want that 7 seconds of glory so bad that we can't even stop ourselves. We can't even stop ourselves from just 7 seconds. Whereas you could just not do that, not eat that donut. And that was, I think, one of the very first videos I made, actually, was the donut thing. So I don't know. Go watch that video, I guess. But so sacrifice short-term pleasure, for example, eating candy, sacrifice that for a better life down the road, right? So if you sacrifice things now, you can build a stronger, better, more satisfying life. But a lot of people aren't willing to do that. A lot of people are not willing to sacrifice things, and they're not willing to give up those things. So don't be one of those people. I think change your mindset, alter the way that you think, and become someone who does do that, who is willing to sacrifice, who is willing to give up sleep here and there, who is willing to stay up a little bit later, who is willing to not eat the donut, who is willing to make, to dedicate 3 hours of your Sunday to cook really healthy food for the week. So be someone who's willing to do those things. Be someone who's willing to sacrifice and willing to, to do what you need to do. So I think that'd be a pretty pretty damn good thing to do and have and know in life is sacrifice. So I guess that's all that I wanted to say. Sacrifice. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Goodbye.